Okay guys, now we have one word only sentence completion in IELTS reading. इसको साइड पे रख दें, क्लास ले रहे हैं आप. Yes, as that Maulvi says, Janu I am masjid. Okay, so बोले Janu I am class. Okay. Alright. So, dress regulations at work. Now imagine someone like Yasin who is dressed up nicely, wearing a necktie and all that, okay? Yeah. So that's what they say, dress regulations at work. Like on your job, what are the requirements for your dressing? Whether you are allowed to wear t-shirt, jeans or not and all that. So you're going to come across some regulations. And if in the passage there are any headings or subheadings, read them also. Can you see here protective clothing and equipment? Yes. Protective clothing means safety clothing, like safety boots, helmet and all that. And then we have jewelry. Okay, that's fine. Questions 15 to 20, please come to that. Choose one word only from the text for each answer. How many words? And I told you questions and answers are in order. Every type where we have sentence completion, summary completion, notes completion, diagram completion, every completion type of questions and answers are in order. Okay, question number 15. If employees are unsure what their company wishes them to wear for work, they should request something. If I don't know what should I wear at work, I should request something. Please come back. First paragraph. I'm reading it from beginning and you'll read it fast. Okay, your contract may state that and all that. Please come to third line after particular garments. Found it? First paragraph, third line after particular garments. As you might well have conflicting ideas of what counts as smart. What counts as smart? You should ask your employer for. Now, you should ask. You should ask means you should request. Now the words request and ask, they are synonyms in IELTS reading language. You should request clarification and you should ask for clarification. Or you should ask your employer for clarification. So ask for and request, they are same thing. Ask for, it's an idiomatic expression. It means to make a request. Ask for and request. Okay, please try to pay more attention. Don't create any negative feeling like मुझसे नहीं होगा. Don't create any feeling like that. I can read your faces. I know some of you have this feeling. Yeah, it's no chaddo vyah kar lenne. Yeah, so please focus what we are doing. This is the easiest part we are doing at the moment. Yeah, answer is clarification. Okay, now let's go on. Question number 16. Some companies offer their employees a dash when they buy items for where to work. Let's go on. After clarification, many employers, now look here, many employers means companies that have a strict dress code chose to provide clothing or a discount on clothing. One thing is choose to provide clothing or they offer a discount on clothing. So what's the question? Some companies. What is the word for some companies? Many employers offer their employees a dash when they buy items for where to work. So that is discount on clothing. And what is the word for clothing? Items to wear for work. Good. Answer is discount. And by the way, one more thing, articles are very helpful. What are articles? 3 only. A, an, the, and sometimes some. A means answer will start with a non-vowel. An means answer will start with a vowel. Singular, both singular. The means it can be anything particular. Because a, an for common noun. And the for some proper noun. But with some proper nouns, we don't use the. Or when you want to specify something, then you use the or the. Anyways, answer is discount. Let's go on. Employees who fail to wear protective clothing. For protective clothing, they might use the word safety boots, safety helmet and all that. Protective clothing when required could be subject to dash procedures. Focus the word procedure. Now, those employees who do not wear clothes according to company policy, they will be subject to dash procedures. Let's go on. Protective clothing. Found it? See that? The heading tells us about it. Your employer can tell you to put on protective clothing and equipment such as gloves, a visor, boots, etc. If you don't, your employer is entitled to take disciplinary action. Now, what is the word for action? Procedures. Right? So, take. Now, please focus this as well. Entitled to take. What is for entitled to take? Subject to. Absolutely. Subject to, entitled to take. And answer is disciplinary. And in IELTS reading, whenever you have a spelling mistake, it's because of your careless mistake. In reading, you will copy all the answers and paste them because they are written in the passage. In reading module, you have to copy paste answers. And if you still have a spelling mistake, that is just because of your own carelessness. Okay? Because there is no room for spelling mistake in reading. Let's go on. Question number 18. Employees ought not to be. Ought not to be means should not be. In dash. Now, employees and in. In is preposition. It will help you find the answer. Because of protective clothing or equipment. Now, let's go on. Protective clothing or equipment. So, we go after question number 17. You are required to. There are some bullet points. Let's come to after bullet points. Of course, any protective gear. Found it? Of course, any protective gear has to fit and be appropriate for the situation. It shouldn't cause you pain. Now go back. It shouldn't cause you pain means employees ought not to be in pain. Absolutely. Now shouldn't and ought not, they are same. Shouldn't and ought not, they are same. We call them modal verbs. Ought not to be in pain. Okay, let's go on. Question number 19. It is the company's responsibility to ensure that there is a suitable place for the protective equipment. For the protective equipment means you put them in the cupboards or any place like that. It is company's responsibility. Now, let's go on. We go on to next paragraph. For responsibility, they have used the word obligation. Got it? Responsibility and obligation. I'm reading third last paragraph. The obligation to maintain protective clothes lies with the employer. The employer is also required to provide an appropriate storage space. Now, what is the word for appropriate? Suitable. Very good. Suitable. And what is the word for place? Space. Storage is the answer. Suitable is appropriate. Place is space. And answer is storage. Just underline the answers and find them where they are. And when you go back home, you got to practice as well. Thank you so much. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Jazakallah. Yeah, biscuit chupa ke laya kare. All right. Okay, let's go on. Question number 20. Employees who work with certain types of dash, underline certain types of, employees work certain types of dash, may have to remove jewelry. Jewelry is last two paragraphs. Certain types of dash. So if they're working with certain type of something, they have to remove jewelry. Let's read jewelry. Banning employees from wearing jewelry and loose clothing may be justified to prevent a potential hygiene. Next paragraph. Likewise, your employer can judge that loose jewelry may constitute a snagging hazard if you operate machinery. So, employees who work with certain types of machinery. Now, certain types of machinery, if you operate machinery.